Hey guys, it's Friday afternoon, and I'm back out at the shop. I went to the store to pick up some materials today, and of course I think I wrote a paint code down wrong for that minivan, so I was looking at a chip deck and the color looks nothing like what I remember the van being, so I'm going to wait till it gets here to double check that color. There were no variants for that particular color, so I'd show you guys a walk around of the bedsides now that they've been polished. They're going to need another going over. I think it was a little soon yet. They're not really hazy, but I got a couple spots that I'm not happy with. Got a couple pigtails in it from the sanding process that I'll need to be buffed on a little bit more, or maybe sanded and buffed a little bit more, but I gave it maybe an hour of buffing, 20 minutes to a half an hour per side, so it really didn't take that long. This Matrix 30 clear buffs up quick, but I had a couple spots that just didn't buff up for me, so that tells me that it wasn't quite ready to buff yet, just because it's cold in the shop here. So that's what it looks like, minus the orange peel. Now I do have a few chips that I evidently missed in the paint and or dust nibs that were larger than life, but the 4x4 sticker goes in this area right here in the back corner of the bed, so I don't really care, and a couple of the other ones are where the fender flare goes, so no big deal. So it is as shiny as I think I can expect it to be. As a matter of fact, I think I did a better job on that than the cab corner post area, which isn't bad either. It's got a little more peel in it, but I may just leave that. That's not unacceptable by any means. This is almost too flat for a production type paint job. Whatever. Turned out good. I'm happy with it. I did start reassembling the bed. Starting to put the bolts back in it, but I got 2 bolts that were broken off that took me forever to drill out before I started body working this bed. And I put bolts back in those because they're hard to get. So the very back 2 bolts, which I don't even know if we can see, but bolts go right up in there where the hitch, or I'm sorry, the top of the frame rail is. I don't think we can even see that. All the other ones are back in loosely so that I can align the bed nice and straight when I get all 8 bolts in it. I've got the filler neck in there kind of loosely. With this paint being soft, I didn't want to tighten those screws down. It's not soft to the touch or anything, but it's soft enough that if you crank those screws down, it's going to mar it. I did put the little bump stops in. And we've got the DeVilbiss SRI gun sitting here on that sheet, and the fan's on, and I'm painting the fuel door today. I had other things to do this morning. I was going to get on the door bottoms. I think it was Jeb Chance made a comment, when am I going to paint the rockers? And I think maybe that's what you saw, buddy. You probably saw the primer still on the bottom of the doors, which I may do that tomorrow. We're supposed to get snow, but who knows? We haven't been right in the forecast yet, so we put a little bit of that ground coat on that fuel door, and I'm just letting it flash off. I put a ground coat on it, and then I put 1 coat of base on it so far of the proper Victory red color, the color of the truck. So it had a few dirt nibs in it where the sealer was, and I nibbed those out and scuffed it down with Scotch-Brite, and just trying to get it all based up here. And I got to remember there is a sticker that says diesel fuel. It's under that piece of tape right in the middle. I got to peel that off before I clear this thing. Notice I didn't cover the truck. I'm walking all the way almost next to the fan, so no overspray is really even getting out here. Plus I am going to buff a little more on that, so I'm not sweating it. So thanks Tom Duncan for that PPS adapter for that SRI gun. That's working pretty sweet. We're going to use the 30 clear with the 5 hardener in it, and we're going to go ahead and go with that when time comes, and I'll give you guys a quick update on that. when it comes time to put the clear on it. So just wanted to give you guys a quick walk around of the shiny truck. One thing I didn't do, I didn't deal with the top of the bed rails. There's still some boinks in there, but those diamond plate rails are going to get put on there, not the old ones, but a new set. And I think I'm going to put a piece of double-sided tape over the part that comes over this lip so it can't chip this paint anymore. That would have been smart from the beginning, but I didn't think about it. But you know, if I could make them all lay like that out of the gun, I wouldn't be having any problems. But that's a small area, and I did cut and buff it too. So this is basically cut and buffed from this line up here all the way down to about here where that texture starts. It's kind of pointless to try and get in there and buff that because there's a texture to it anyway, and that's just extra protection for chips, from rock chips and all that. And I will put the mud guards back on this truck, front and rear. So I picked up some seam sealer today. We're going to get up behind where these panels were put in, and we're going to clean up those weld areas with a wire brush, and we're going to brush some epoxy over them with the acid brush up in there. I'm going to have to lay on my back on the floor with the light up in there and reach up in there, but that's okay. A lot of people asked how I was going to deal with that, and we're going to clean that up, and we're going to brush some epoxy on those weld areas, and then I'm going to take seam sealer and go over that epoxy and brush that around just to make sure that that zone is covered. And then I had a comment about would 3M Rust Fighter be a good sort of rust proofing deal to put back there, because it's a wax based, and I've never used it before. I've heard of it and other wax based products. I was going to undercoat that with oil and linseed oil, which I don't know if I have a can of linseed oil. I think I've showed this before. There it is, right there. I have a can of it. Clean strip, blah, blah, blah. Home Depot or Lowe's or hardware store or paint, you know, Sherwin-Williams paint store or whatever your local store is. This is a wood preservative and a metal preservative. It gets, if you put it on metal, and especially if you mix it with oil, it gets real gooey. This is not a good truck to show you because this one hasn't been sprayed with it yet this year, but the Super Duty, the frame is all goopy from that stuff being on there, and that was sprayed in like July. So that's one way to do it. The Rust Fighter is neat because you can buy a $20 extension wand for it that's about 3 foot long that has a spray nozzle on it that will spray like 360 degrees, so you can shove it down a rocker panel and up in a cab corner and things like that, and get great coverage with it. And my undercoating gun actually has a spray wand for it, and that works really nice too. So I may pick some of that up and go ahead and put it back there. That's kind of a hard area to get up in because we have to come up behind here. You can't really see, but my hand has to go way up in there, and it's going to be not going to be easy. I'll definitely agree with that, you know. But it's the only way I know to do them, and I'm going to go for it that way. So I'm going to throw another coat of base on that fuel door and see how we're looking, and I'll bring you back after that thing's cleared. Give you a quick rundown, so we'll catch you in a few. Alright, quickie update here. There's a fuel door. Turned out good. I got one dirt nib in it there, but other than that, I think it'll fly. You can still see some rust pits at the bottom there. I don't care, it's on the inside. That was all blasted out and epoxy primed in there, so no harm, no foul. We scuffed the sticker and cleared right over it. So that's it, guys, and we'll get this one uploaded for you. Okay.